Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you're getting some reading in, some relaxation, family time, whatever you need to make this a fantastic weekend. I hope you're getting it. I can't believe that it is the midpoint of January. I know I talk a lot about how fast time goes by on my channel, and maybe it's just where I'm at in my life. Maybe it's that I'm in my 40s, maybe something. I don't know, but I am always in awe of how fast time is flying by. But I was inspired this morning to do this video because I started my book club book for my book club. I'll tell you guys a bit more about it when we get to this book in my list here. But it was a 2018 release that I didn't know or didn't hear a lot about. And I think it was one of those books that maybe just slipped under the radar a little bit. And I think that people should hear about it. So I came up with a list of 8 2018 releases that maybe you heard about, maybe you wrote down, maybe you thought, oh, you know what, that sounds interesting, that I'm here to put back on your radar, get back on your TBRs, get ordered from the library, however you read your books. I want these books to be up there with the books that you're going to read next. So I hope you're ready for 8 books. As I always say, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, get out however you keep track of the books that you want to read, because I have a feeling a lot of these are going to wind up on that list. These books are in alphabetical order by author, so they have no special placement. They're all books that I think you guys should definitely get to this year. Let's go ahead and start with The Optimistic Decade by Heather Abel. This book came out this year and it is set during the Reagan years, the 80s, which I know a lot of us were either, I was already born, but some of us were born in, some of us lived through, some of us had our children in. So the 80s are one of those time periods I think we'll see more and more in books to come. But I haven't read a lot of stuff set in the 80s. And this is set on a summer camp that is really its point and purpose of the camp is to get away from sort of what's going on in the world and get back to the basics. And we have a cast of 5 people. We have, I knew his name, Caleb, who runs the camp and has sort of this idea, his sort of revolution against the world at the time period. We have 2 men who have given their land over to this summer camp. We have Caleb's daughter, who wants to become an activist in her own right. And then we have a young boy, a teenage boy, who is at the camp, who is sort of turning the camp into his own personal religion. So this is a lot about, what I really like actually is that the sections break it down. The topics across the top of it say stuff like, oh gosh, I'm having a hard time. It will break it down into the Reagan years. And so you'll have sort of a historical pinpoint to do that. But it's also one of those books that it's about a family, maybe not 5 related people, but 5 people that have come together and how they interact and how they become who they are and what they are. So that's The Optimistic Decade by Heather Abel. And again, this is out. The paperback should actually come out in 2019. So you may be able to get it in paperback if that's more your style. But it is out and ready for you. The next book I'm going to tell you about is from my friends over at Europa, who you know I absolutely love. And this is Sandrine Collette's Nothing But the Dust, translated from the French by Allison Anderson. I've said it before, Allison Anderson does a lot of translations for Europa, and she is fantastic. This book is set on a farm in Argentina. I think it says on the lonely Patagonian steppe. This is the story. This is truly a family saga about a family that owns a farm that is going under. The father has left. We have a young boy who is really blamed by his older brothers for the reason his father left. They have a younger brother that suffers from some educational setbacks, some mental disabilities. And then we have the mother who is your typical tyrant / antagonist. How does it say? Tyrannical and avarice mother. And this is that. This book has comparisons in it to Disgraced by Coetzee, family saga stuff like Faulkner. So if that's up your alley, this book is really there for you. And it was a Europa book that came out last year that I didn't see a lot of people talk about. It's got a beautiful cover too. So if you're looking for something like that, or if you read anything by Europa and you like sort of their style, this just fits so well into it. So this is Nothing But the Dust by Sandrine Collette, and this is out translated by Allison Anderson from the French. This is the book that inspired this entire video, and that is French Exit by Patrick Dewitt. There you go here. This is actually my book club book. I am in a book club that just celebrated its 5-year anniversary. I am going to do a video on that actually very soon. Where we all met at a book event in Santa Cruz over 6 years ago now. And we have been doing these virtual book clubs via Google Hangout, or we've had a number of different ways that we've done it. But we meet and we actually talk about books once a quarter. And this is actually the book we're talking about in a couple weeks. And French Exit is a satirical novel about a mother and son. They're both adults. The son still lives with his mom. They live a wealthy, extravagant lifestyle. The father/husband character was an attorney, one of those attorneys that defended all the despicable people. He died of a heart attack, and they are now out of money. And what has happened is, in sort of a way to get away from everything, everything has been seized by the bank. They sell all of their assets that they can, sort of under the table, take the money, and they flee to France. They have a fantastic cat character in this book, which I'm absolutely adoring. He's almost got people like sort of, you know those cats that just sort of sit there and judge you in the corner? He's there. And this is really about a mother who is eccentric, a son who never got out from under his mother's thumb, and all of that. So I'm about halfway through, so I can't tell you exactly everything I feel about it, but it is pretty funny and pretty entertaining so far. So that's French Exit by Patrick Dewitt. Next on this list is Heartbreaker by Claudia Dey. Now, if you guys are a fan of Simon's channel, you know Simon and Savage Reads raved about this book. This is about a community, one of those religious communities that is sort of shut off from the rest of the world. I want to say it's 1985. I'm trying to figure out if I can remember where exactly it is. But as you can tell, this is the story of a young boy. Their family lives sort of in the last house on the outskirts of the town. No one ever leaves this town. They are sort of insulated. However, his mother arrived at the town 17 years earlier in a stolen car. She fell out of the stolen car and basically is brought into the community. And his mom will not speak about the world outside of their community. All of that sounds like it's enough to get it on your radar. I think Simon's raving review, if not me telling you to read it, would be another reason to read it. But if you like those books sort of set in those insular religious communities as people try to figure out what their place is in the real world, it's that book for you. So this is Heartbreaker by Claudia Dey. The next book on this list was reviewed just recently by 6 Minutes to Myself, and I am completely blanking on, you know how sometimes you know someone's name and it's sitting there on the tip of your tongue? And I really apologize that it is right here. It's right here. But she reviewed the Ensemble by Aja Gabel, or Gabel, and I know her name will pop up the minute I stopped doing this video. This is the story of 4 people that are in a string quartet together and their relationships with music, with each other, sort of the secrets that they've kept against each other, for each other, with each other. And I've heard that this book is really sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's really envelops you with the music and the atmosphere of these 4 people and the relationship they have as they travel around as a quartet. I think the cover is gorgeous, and I don't know why. This is one of those books that I bought the minute it came out, and I haven't had a chance to read yet, and I don't know why. And I think that it needs to be read by you and by me. So that's The Ensemble by Aja Gabel. Jacqueline did a review of this book. There you go. The next book on this list is a book I picked up while I was in Cleveland for training, and that is Southernmost by Silas House. This is the story of a preacher in Tennessee where the community is really devastated by a flood, and he takes in a young gay couple, which is really at odds with not only his religious community as their preacher, but also with his wife and the mother of his son. And he delivers this sermon about tolerance and, loving people for who they are. And it doesn't stop his wife from wanting to leave him. So he gets into his car with his son and drives down to the Florida Keys in search for his brother, who he has been at odds with since his brother came out of the closet. So all those feels, everything about that, all those feels. We have him and his relationship with this gay couple, him and his relationship with his son. We also have him in searching for and developing a relationship, rekindling a late relationship with his brother. So that's Southernmost by Silas House. The next book is, everyone loves a book set in a restaurant, normally because it makes you so hungry. And that is #1 Chinese Restaurant by Lillian Lee. I love myself a good Chinese restaurant. I love Chinese food. But this is really the story about all those people in that restaurant when it all goes bad. The restaurant starts to have its issues, and normally the speed of the restaurant, the high-paced world that is the restaurant world, keeps certain things at bay. And now, as things are started falling apart, those things can no longer stay at bay. I think this cover just speaks for itself. I think it's fantastic. This book is going to have all the feels, but it's also going to make you giggle and make you laugh. And so that's #1 Chinese Restaurant by Lillian Lee. And I don't know why I didn't get to see her. I know. And I love that on the inside of this, it has a family tree. Oh, let's see if I can open that for you so you can sort of file. But it looks sort of like wallpaper. Oh, God. Everything to love about a book. Sometimes books are just amazing, don't you think? Last but not least on this channel and in this stack of books, I'm going to talk about a book that I've talked about before that I purchased late in last year and haven't gotten around to, and that's The Court Dancer. This is by Kyung-Sook Shin, translated from the Korean by Anton Her. This is based on a true story. This is set in, well, it starts in Korea, where a French diplomat goes to Korea and falls in love with a court dancer, winds up bringing her back to France where she does translations, but also starts to feel very, very homesick. And she returns home, and the world is not the same as when she left it. And she is not the same because she has experienced the world outside of the court where she was a court dancer. Let's just take a moment and again appreciate how beautiful this cover is. And this is The Court Dancer by Kyung-Sook Shin, translated by Anton Her. If you need another recommendation to get this book onto your radar, please go check out Matthew Sharapa's fantastic review of this book and also his interview with the translator Anton Her. All of it worth taking into consideration, but also do it after. Do it after you read the book. So that's a stack. That's a stack. Let's see if I can lift these up without dropping them. This is 8 books from 2018 that you may have missed, you may have thought about, you may not have picked up, but I think you probably should. As always, you guys, I always wish you happy reading. Take a moment and appreciate this shirt my parents got me. Let me see if I can show you. For Christmas, the book was better. It is adorable, and I absolutely loved it. I wish you happy reading, and I will talk to you next time. As always, if you're a return subscriber, thank you so much. If you're new to my channel, I hope some of these books wind up on your TBR and you wind up coming back for another video. And as always, I wish you happy reading, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!